evening. So now we will run through the Kaksh Air deviraliser. This is a device which has got a lot of relevance in this pandemic times. We have brought this unit to find a solution in an engineering way to the current pandemic. So I ask Aadhaar to start the presentation.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you had a nice, relaxing Sunday. And it's Saturday. I'm just being informed. Every day is the same when you're an entrepreneur. First of all, we talk about COVID-19. It's an airborne pandemic. Now, the information was hazy at first, but now it's almost confirmed. It's a lung-based disease. And if the germs have to go, if the virus has to go to the lung, it has to go through air. And the way it goes through air is through the tiny little droplets. And these tiny little droplets are exhaled either from the mouth or from the nose through sneezing, coughing, through talking, and even through normal breathing. You have three types of droplets. You have the large infectious droplets, you have the small infectious droplets. Both of these you can handle or you can protect yourself through social distancing, because most of them, they drop off after a certain distance. And so they never enter your respiratory system. Now, the problem you have is with the infectious droplet nuclei. Now, these are less than 5 micron. So they're basically an aerosol. What is an aerosol? It is a stable mixture of a liquid inside a gas. In this case, of the viral particle droplets inside the gas. Now, this bioaerosol, this viral aerosol is what has to be combated if we want to combat coronavirus. Now, here's a risk assessment according to CDC from the aerosol spread of COVID-19, which is the primary way of spread of COVID-19. On one end, you have something like a cricket match where people are outdoors. There's a very low density of people. The exposure time is long, but since the other three factors are so good that the spread is almost minimal, and that's why you have IPL happening very openly. On the other end, you have classrooms and offices. Now, classrooms and offices is absolutely everything going against you. You are indoors. The ventilation is normally very poor because you have either air conditioning or you have very tiny little windows. And so there's barely any ventilation with the outside. The density is very high. People were sitting very close to each other, and the exposure time is the entire workday. So that is where you're seeing the major lockdowns. That is where you're seeing the major spread. People are not entering offices at full 100% attendance. When there are offices open, they are being shut down because of the rampant spread of coronavirus amongst the employees. Now, in India and in most of the Indian subcontinent, what has been the story is the spread was very slow in the beginning, and we thank our government for it because there was a very strict lockdown. And after that, there was a series of unlocks, and slowly the economy was opened up. There were some checks taken, surface sanitization, body temperature, social distancing, face masks. And these checks were, we would call them superficial because they do not attack the core of the problem. And that is why you had an increase of COVID-19 cases with each step of unlock. Now, as of now, these are the major areas of economy, as you see on the screen, are not still completely opened, very partially opened. Educational institutes, offices, gyms, hotels, flights. And you have all sorts of major personalities. You hear it in the news, they're getting affected with coronavirus. Now, the solution. The solution to this is Kaksh Air deviraliser. The simple concept, if you would see on your screen, is from the bottom you have the air entering room. Air enters the device from the bottom. It is treated within the device, the red body of the device you can see. And on the top green arrow, you can see the sanitized, deviralized air leaving the device. Now, what happens inside? We have UVC plus treatment inside the red body that you see. There's a thick aluminium, 4 mm thick aluminium housing, which protects all sorts of, which basically is opaque to any radiation in the inside. It prevents anything to get outside. There is these three logos that you can see, these three squares you can see is the indication, and is also the Shushk logo. And at the bottom, you have caster wheels. Now, why do you have caster wheels on this device? It's because we give you the freedom to take this device wherever the people are. Now, this is very important. It's a very important concept. This is not an air purifier. This does not follow the principles of an air purifier. An air purifier works on the principle of the more air there is, the more it has to be clean. This device works on the principle the more people there are, the more there's a chance of those people spreading coronavirus in the air continuously. And therefore, you need more of these devices around those people. Now, so this device is meant for, we'll discuss that in the subsequent size as well, is meant for 10 people and also 400 square feet. That is secondary, but the important part is 10 people. So that is the rule of thumb. Now, and then this is the video, a short video just as a closer look, a 3D view. Here you can see the logo with the light on. Here are the circulating fans, the lasered sheets, beautiful aesthetic. And here you can see the plug being snapped off. For more information, www.shush.in. If we can move to the next slide. Now, this is a short schematic representation of how coronavirus actually spreads. There's a typical conference room wherein the person in the black t-shirt has coronavirus. He is now breathing it out and continuously increasing the viral concentration, the concentration of the viral particles within the room. And since this is a corporate conference room, the windows do not open, there is air conditioning that is helping that spread, and it is a disaster of a scenario. It is the whole of death in this current pandemic. What happens with our unit? Our unit is working it's working continuously. So you plug it in, you switch it on, and you leave it on whenever, for as long as there are people inside the room. Now, our unit is removing the virus at 100 CFM. Now, what is CFM? CFM is what we engineers use as the unit for displacement of air. And CFM is cubic feet per minute. So a normal human being is breathing in and out, whether he or she has coronavirus or not, is breathing in and out at 0.5 CFM when they're sitting. And so if there are, let's say there are two corona carriers amongst these people, there is a viral infection, there's a viral particle load being expelled at 1 CFM. 0.5 into 2 is 1 CFM. We are removing it consistently at 100 CFM. So what we are ensuring is that even with a large amount of people, we take it up to 10 because that is a safe number. Our unit will never let the concentration of the coronavirus to get high enough for other people to get infected.
Yeah.
And Mr. Rajiv may add to it.
Yeah, in fact, I have just intervened. Sorry, Aadhaar, because we have just now learned, today only we learned that one of the users based in Gujarat experienced this phenomena with Kaksh Red. He bought a couple of machines. One machine is placed in his cabin where he had a couple of people in his office who are sitting outside and who are moving outside. They were corona infected, and even in the presence of corona infected persons, he remained perfectly okay. So this is now getting proved in the real life that people who are using Kaksh Red are getting protected even in the presence of a corona carrier right very near to them. Aadhaar, continue.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, it's a boon in these times, to be very honest. We're proud to be Indian. We're 100% designed and made in India. So there is nothing from China, to be very honest. And we all know how substandard those products are. And we have included all the parts are either Indian or European. Now, this is the empirical basis of Kaksh. I would not go too deeply into it unless we have some participants who do want to delve into it. But this is the basis on which we proceeded with the design of Kaksh Red. And this basically shows the effect of UVC plus technology. This was a research paper from 2020 itself. And this shows the effect of coronavirus, effect of UVC plus technology on human coronaviruses. So very close cousins of SARS-CoV-2. And as you can see, the green goes away. As this is what the layman has to take away. The green goes away. The green is the virus. It gets killed, gets deactivated. Now, this is what was tested outside on some other equipment. What about our own testing? We made a machine based on some design principles. Does it actually work? Does it actually kill viruses? What it is designed to do, since it is an air deviralizer. We went to the best. We went to the best institute in India for microbial testing. And it is at FRAC. It is affiliated with FICCI. Now, FICCI, it's a very well-renowned organization. 1927 was when it was founded, and it has clients who's who, Blue Star, Pepsi, and it works for FSSAI, which is the final authority for food testing, and so they do the microbial testing for FSSAI themselves. These were the results. Now, on the right side, you see our beautiful little Kaksh Red in the test chamber. It's a stainless steel test chamber. Nothing goes in, nothing comes out unless you want it to. And it was spiked with an enormous amount of virus. And the results you can see on the left side is what happened to those viruses when our machine was turned on. Now, when I say spiked, it was aerosolized in the air. So what you mimicked was basically someone sneezing inside. You basically mimicked 1,000 people sneezing inside the room. And the effect our unit had was remarkable. There was a reduction of more than 80% within the first 5 minutes of operation. And at 10 minutes, we were at basically 99.9%. And so we will have trace amounts of virus, which the concentration has gone so far below the threshold that no one will get infected at that point. Now, there's what's in the market is very important, because there's nothing that exists in a vacuum. The two major competitors or competing technologies, one could say, are surface disinfectant. There's a huge array of products that focus only on surface and how to clean those surfaces, how to keep them virus free. The duration of effectiveness is very short. You spray something, it evaporates away in a short amount of time. The air deviralization is nil. There is no, and there is chemical toxicity attached with these surface disinfectants. There are perchlorates, there are hypochlorites, there's so many host of chemicals that we're just spraying, which which do kill viruses, yes, but they also have a very bad effect on human beings, especially children. So we have to be very careful with surface disinfectants. Secondly, there are air purifiers which are being touted as the end-all, be-all solution, and they are very poorly designed. They have zero air deviralization. They trap dust, but they do not trap viruses, which are too small for them to trap. They do not kill viruses whatsoever the way we do. The duration of effectiveness is continuous, but the operating cost of these machines is also very high, in the sense that you have to replace filters, get them replaced, so there's a labor cost attached to it, and there's the filter itself costs a lot of money, and we estimate that within a year you would have spent more in filters itself than you would have on Kaksh Red. So that concludes our presentation, and if Mr. Rajiv have anything more to add.
Yeah, in fact, Aadhaar has nicely explained the whole scenario, and we will take up the further thing in question and answers. But one thing I have to say is that it is very important to deviralize the air, and this is where most of our organizations, be it offices, be it schools, which are now opening up, or be it hospitals, the concentration has been until now, thanks to the MHA guidelines and other things, only on the surface disinfection, which is good enough for a normal hygiene. But when you have to combat the coronavirus, you have to take care of the air. It is very significant. You have to take care of sanitizing your air. Here, Kaksh Red is the, to best of our knowledge, is one of the very few products in the market, especially in India, which is there to protect you in such conditions. So now I give it back to Sanjay to take up the question answers.
Thank you, Rajiv ji and Aadhaar. In fact, Aadhaar, it was a very wonderful presentation. In such a short time, you covered all the aspects of this thing. But definitely, there is one question has come up here from Mr. Ashish Dikshit. So, what is the tentative cost and how much durable it is, and is there any renewal system? In fact, 3-4 questions there.
Okay, so these are all very relevant questions.
Yeah.
How durable is it? Okay, durability is, we are very proud to say, 4 years of operation. It's 10,000 hours of life of the equipment inside the Kaksh Red, and so that comes out to be 4 years of operation. So you buy it, plug it in, and forget. For 4 years, you just have to forget about it. It's just doing its work. Now, the renewable. Okay, so you're basically asking about, is there any consumables in there's zero consumables. All you have to do is take a nice little soft cloth and just dust it. That's it from the outside. No. That is the only upkeep there is, and there is no consumables you have to put inside the machine. No cost.
End of life, yes, when we reach the end of 4 years, or rather more, because that is what is a very safe assumption given by the manufacturer of UV equipment. But when you go for refurbishing, the cost will be very less. It will be less than 5,000 rupees, and that will be done at the factory. We will invite these units to be sent back to a factory, and we will return them in a very short time. So that renewal cost is very less. That too only after 4 years or so. Please.
And what is the tentative cost? Is
yeah. No, tentative cost. Please, you have to talk to our the MRP is 25,000 rupees, but for volume discount plus GST plus freight. But for volume discounts, you have to talk to our channel partners. So we can offer volume discounts if the numbers go really very impressive. But the MRP is 25,000 plus GST plus freight.
Mr. Sanjay, if you could just unmute everyone. And so if someone wants to, okay, we have questions coming in.
Yeah. In fact, everyone can unmute themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Please, everyone, we invite you to ask your
You
question.
can ask any
yourself.
question if you want to ask over speaker, or you can
over the speaker, or you can type it out. If it is UV light based, what is the life of UV
I
light?
think
We discussed this.
Mr. Gopal Krishnan Dev Sharma, he wants to. I think he has unmuted himself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Gopal.
Yeah. I just want to ask a small question. Suppose if we just want to recommend it to corporate hospitals and cinema theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So then how it should be taken, and how it will work over there? People sitting more than 500 into that theater.
Good question, Mr. Gopal. First of all, welcome you he's from Hyderabad. So, Mr. Gopal, this is Rajiv Sharma answering your question. See, when it comes to cinema halls, and then you said hospitals. Sorry, you said cinema halls.
Hospitals.
Yeah,
corporate hospitals.
Yes. Yeah, the number of people, when you increase the number of people, you have to have multiple of these machines, because these machines are basically modular, which means the more the people, the more machines you need. And in fact, when it comes to the hospitals, I think this is something should be an essential thing in the hospitals. In each private room, it can be one, but in case of normal wards, it will depend upon how many patients are there. So normally we recommend one for 10 persons. So accordingly, that you can estimate how many machines you need. And for cinema halls, again, because these days you have like population around 200, but as per government guidelines, maybe half will be allowed. So 100 numbers. So that means maybe 9 or 10 machines are required in a particular cinema hall.
Okay, great. Yeah, there is one more question. If it is UV light based, what is the life of UV light? I think Aadhaar has answered. It is 10,000 hours. And if you operate it for 8 hours for 300 days, it comes to minimum 4 years. Okay, then this was from Mr. Sunil Kumar. And there's one question from Ms. Pooja Tripathi. So does it mean people do not need mask in an enclosed space?
We do not recommend that. It is government directive to wear masks. We do not have the authority to go against the government. A. B. There is still a question of it is not very clear how infectious the big droplets are, and masks do protect you from the big droplets. So we do recommend that you wear a mask inside.
Yeah, very.
But if you do have a social, yes, please.
Okay. Pooja ma'am, now the thing is, the question is really good. See, we wanted to be politically, diplomatically safe. So we wanted to avoid saying that you can avoid using mask. But the fact is, if you are at a safe distance, because sitting in the office for the whole day with a mask on, it is really not good thing. It will harm your health more than helping you against corona, because it does not help much but for the big droplets, as Aadhaar was saying just now. But if you maintain a distance of what that 2 gaj ki duri, so then you can safely remove your mask. We cannot go on writing it somewhere, but verbally we can put it out very loudly. You need not use mask if you are maintaining a distance where the big droplets do not come onto your face and enter your nose. So that way you are very, very much safe without mask when you have this Kaksh Red unit in your office. In fact, whenever guests come to our house, or whenever we go and meet people, we do not use mask. And when we are doing it for last 4 months, till now, very safe. Touch wood.
Now, please, Mr. Sanjay.
Yeah. Now, the next question is from Mr. Sunil Kumar. What are the moving parts in the machine?
What are the moving parts? The circulation system is the moving part, but outside of that, we cannot go further and discuss the. It's covered under a patent, so we cannot discuss a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, please.
Yeah. There are 2 more questions. I think you answered. Yeah. Is the
There is a
machine
question about the noise. Yeah.
noise or is silent? Or second is
Yeah,
noise
it's
level.
real-
Also. Yeah, both even.
Yeah. So the noise level 40 to 45 dBA. That's what you have in a normal library. So it's very quiet. You can easily put it in your conference room and have a very nice quiet discussion, and or even in the classroom and have pin drop silence.
Okay. In fact, Mr. Mohinder Mehta and Mr. Sinikumar asked a similar question. Different answer. Thank you. Now, next question is by Mr. Bandari. Shushbu. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very in-depth question,
Yeah.
Mr. Bandari. So you have seen our UV.
Can I speak the question for clarity of everyone? In the video,
Absolutely,
you were
absolutely.
in the video you were measuring UVC rays from the bottom of the device. In households where there are kids, is it safe if they put their hands or fingers to the bottom of the device? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
just for everyone's. Should we show the video?
No, they have seen the
Okay,
video.
so they've seen the video. Okay, but okay. So just to remind everyone, so this is from our UVC safety video where we put the probe of the device. We don't put our own hand or fingers inside the machine. We put the probe of the UVC meter inside the machine to show you how high that the meter is working, B, how high the radiation levels are inside the machine. So you know it is working. It's actually killing the viruses and bacteria.
Okay.
And we do not recommend that people put their hands, but if they do so for a second or so, the dosage is measured in intensity multiplied by time. So if the time is very short, there is no harm.
Yeah, and it is see normally the gap is quite less. You can't go so deep in very easily. But of course, this window is required because this is required for
There's a
the
maintenance.
this not only the maintenance, it's also for the air circulation.
Yes.
So this has to be there. And if we try to provide anything to protect, then we give chance to collection of dust or some foreign particles. Then maintaining it will be difficult. But if there will be a persistent requirement from the customer base, we will think over this. But at the moment, wherever we have supplied this kind of questions, objections have not come. But we take your point into our consideration.
Yes.
In fact, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, one thing we have to be extra careful when children are there. They can really play with any equipment, so precaution can be taken so that they are away from them. And definitely, what you're saying is, if we can do something, definitely we'll do in the future. Okay, temperature or surface of barrel. Mr. Sunil.
Okay, the temperature is there is no increase of temperature. The temperature is what the room temperature is. There is no overheating even after hours and hours and hours of use. In fact, we have tested the machine for days, for weeks, and it was just switched on for weeks, and there was no increase in temperature. We measured with the temperature gun. There was no increase in temperature.
Mr. Silkumar is asking about, please repeat once again energy consumption. Energy consumption, you said like.
Now that's a beautiful question, and that is where we actually do come ahead against every other technology available on the market. The energy consumption is about 120 to 130 watts. Now, what does it mean for your electricity bill? It means 1 rupee, 1 Indian rupee of electricity. If you assume 7 rupees per unit of electricity, 1 rupee per hour is the running cost of this machine, and that is the only running cost of this machine.
That's fantastic.
Sanjay, the presenters can speak English, Hindi, and Punjabi, so people can talk.
Even Nepali.
So people can talk on their own.
We have some of our
you can unmute
friends from Nepal.
Bhai Sahab.
Hanji.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, my question is. My question is. Will this machine will affect if it works in hot summer or chilled winter?
Yes. There is no dependency on temperature whatsoever, or humidity, or any other factor whatsoever, because this technology works at all temperatures. It works in space. It works on Mars. It works on every place. In fact, the reason that there is no life on Mars, to be very honest, is because of this. It's a little complicated, but yes.
They have no atmosphere.
A simple small question once again. This has to be kept on which height?
No, it has to be kept on the floor.
On the floor, it's on the wheels.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes. ये floor पे रखने का है, इसको कोई भी move नहीं करने का. So there's a question from okay, yes, Gopal.
Yeah.
One more question I want to ask you is like a small meeting or small musical entertainment program or some small function is going on of 50 to 60 people in a banquet hall.
Yeah.
So how we can suggest them about this product?
No issues. You
5 to 6 units.
Yeah, 5 to 6 units. You keep it inside that banquet hall, anywhere in the banquet hall, right? But preferably
people standing or sitting. Why, sir, the people standing and sitting beside this machine, will it be okay, or they have to keep some distance from this machine?
You can sit on the machine. You can hug the machine. There is no leakage of any radiation or anything. Yeah. Yes.
Nice.
That is
Nice
our
talking to you,
Kaksh.
Yeah, absolutely. One more thing, just one suggestion is when they sit in the banquet, you can suggest them just they got to maintain some social distancing. Yeah, just along with the machine. That will help in a big way. Yeah, this suggestion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're government guidelines, so keeping those guidelines in mind and using this machine, they will be absolutely 100% safe. Okay, one more question from Ms. Pooja. How widely is it being used in India, and how is the review so far in regard to its efficacy? And there's one more question.
Wonderful question. Now we have so far put into the market around 60 plus machines. They have gone to dentists, clinics, to corporates, and even to individual users, even to people who have some breathing issues, right? So so far we have received wonderful results. One result just came before this presentation, which we shared during the presentation, that somebody did not get infected from coronavirus, even in the presence of his colleagues who were corona carriers, rather corona patients. So this is doing wonderfully well. Okay, the best examples are we too, because we have to get the prototypes built and start the whole process. So we might have met more than 2,000 people in the past 4 months or so, and we have gone to people in their offices, but we were carrying our machines always with us. So there was always one unit lying in our car. So we have met people in all their different locations, inside and outside, and touch wood, we are safe so far. So we are one of, in a way, ambassador of our own machine.
And to just sum it up,
भाई साहब एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन था मेरा. भाई साहब एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन था. अभी जैसे मेरे को ये मशीन अभी देखनी है, I want to show it to one of my friend. So whether I have to purchase it from C&F or a dealer or distributor, or how it will be?
See, it will depend upon, because you are from Andhra, and Andhra is right now not taken by any channel partner. So in that case, you can talk to us directly, right? We have got a site, so you can talk to us directly. Fine, but wherever we have channel partners, like in NCR, in Gujarat, we have channel partners in Maharashtra, we have channel partners in Mumbai, in Aurangabad, in Pune. So there we will request people to go to the channel partners, but wherever we do not have channel partners, people can connect to us directly.
Okay. I'll just talk to you right now after this webinar.
Yeah, sure.
Brilliant.
Great.
Sanjay, more questions are there, please.
Yeah. Alicia is, yeah. Somebody wants to ask. Yeah, please.
Yeah, Aadhaar. So what is the category of this machine? Like, is it a medical equipment or an electrical appliance? Because if you're exporting it somewhere, then you need to, the GST, everything will be different for medical equipment and electric appliances.
Okay, so that's a brilliant question, Puneet. Puneet is a very successful entrepreneur from Kathmandu. To those who don't know, this machine is within Indian tax regime. This machine has a HSN code of 8421, which is basically comes under air purification equipments, and that is the category that this machine comes under. we'll have to work it out that what if we talk about the Nepali tax regime, what is the classification? So I think we can discuss it. I'll need some information from you, Puneet, and we'll have to find out where it actually fits in.
Sure. Yeah.
Because this is a completely new product.
There's a question from Alicia.
Alicia is there, yeah.
Yeah.
Does it have
Alicia,
to be
your
connected on
question
plug
is,
every time you use it, or does it run up with the backup power as well?
Oh, it can run with the backup power because it is
So yes,
it is as low as 130 watts, so it can run with backup power. And one question which normally people ask us, when it should be operated. So it has to be operated only and only when you are there with other co-occupants. So it should not be used when you are not there, because it has got no role, because walls and furniture does not spread corona. Corona is spreaded by basically persons only. So in the presence of many occupants only, or one or two occupants, you have to run this machine and continuously.
भाई साहब एक small question था मेरा, small last question.
Please go ahead. No issues.
Yeah, corona नहीं होगा तो machine का क्या होगा?
Okay, good question. In fact, this question, by asking us this question, you have really given us an opportunity to explain this. This is the device which is basically not against corona only. It actually kills or rather deactivates bacteria, fungus, molds, and all kind of virus. So now, as people use RO in their houses, so in coming years, people will use Kaksh Red technology, so that their rooms, their houses are free from what we call pathogens. So if you want that your room is really free of bacteria or fungus or any virus, you have to use this machine for all time to come. So this is going to be a new normal, as we say. This is not going to go off. This is going to stay forever.
A small thing I just want to ask you. What kind of things should be kept away from this machine?
Only air purifiers and other things. We don't keep our competitors near us. Nothing else.
there is no
nothing.
Yeah.
I think Alicia is asking maybe backup power with not in the machine. It can work on inverter backup power, but there is no backup power within the machine. Machine has to be connected to the plug.
Yes.
Yeah.
What you can do personally is run it out on UPS.
Yeah,
so
UPS.
UPS, a simple, lowest, cheapest UPS is enough to run this machine. Yeah. So this is the and how energy efficient it is.
Yeah. And if we have not answered you, Alicia, you can unmute and re-ask the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Om Prakash, he wants to. Is one very good question. Can we put this machine inside AC duct, AC return duct, as per CFM?
There is absolutely no need to play with this device. This device is complete in itself. There is no further engineering required. We have done the engineering part ourselves, right? And this AC retrofitting we have discussed in our presentation when we talked about what are the other things in the market. But this is not effective. We can talk to you one-to-one, because this has been thought over in countries abroad, and it has failed to give the dividends. So this is not required.
If I may just add a little bit to this.
In fact, sorry.
Can I? Yeah. So the air conditioner, first of all, is it on? Is it not? We are entering the winter months. It won't be on. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Secondly, when you have a Kaksh Red, you are bringing that deviralized air very close to you, close to the people. And when you have an AC vent, it's at the top of the room. It is nowhere close to you. And so you cannot guarantee the safety that you can with Kaksh Red. And yes.
Yeah. And Aadhaar has really given the one basic underlying principle, what we have tried to bring in Kaksh Red. Take the unit, take the solution very close to the problem. So with Kaksh Red, we try to go very close to the problem area, so that
which are human beings,
so that we use minimum power. Anything which you try to make universal will consume very, very high power. So in fact, our new products which are lined up immediately after this Kaksh Red, which may come somewhere in 2021, are also based on the concept that take the solution very close to the person. Okay.
Yeah, one more last question from Nitish Poddar. The number of machines calculated by area or number of people? In fact, yeah, both. In fact,
the first factor always has to be number of people, because people spread coronavirus. First factor has to be number of people. 10 for one machine. That's the rule of thumb. Second factor can be the area, and we do not recommend above 430 square feet for one machine. So one machine will cover 430 square feet, 40 square meter, and subsequently, if it's 800 square feet, 2 machines, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely, because time is important. Because it's got to clear the things in 10 minutes. We don't want it to take, bigger the area, the more time it will take. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Basically, balance of both. Okay. Yeah. So I think the wonderful questions have come today, and it must have given clarity to a lot of people, and absolutely fantastic information, Mr. Aadhaar and Mr. Rajiv. So I think you're always welcome to ask questions on WhatsApp.
Yes, and
you always pick up a phone and call.
How about we share all our emails, and you can write to us anytime, day or night.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is what you can.
I tell you one more thing. I tell you. See, all the questions will be answered the moment you use it for a week. You will see big difference.
That's also true. That's
also absolutely. True. And I'm telling you, like, see, I'm using this machine at my home, and whenever I have to meet somebody, any of my friends or otherwise for my business purposes, I always take the machine. Anybody comes in my house, first I switch on the machine, then the person is allowed to come in my house. So absolutely, yeah. Mr. Om Prakash has shared, his
SK.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can, if anybody else is sharing.
I've shared yours as well, Mr. Sanjay.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, our phone number is also there.
Yes. Yeah. Mr. Sanjay is very helpful.
We are a team of engineers, so definitely. So
yes. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, welcome. Bye. Good night. Have a great.
Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend.
Bye.
Good night.